Lafferty with Rich Lafferty Riding Schools. I'd like to give you a tip today involving your valve stem. A lot of people want their valve stem nut tight to the rim. This presents a problem. If the tire is going to spin, it's going to spin and pull the tube with it, therefore disconnecting the valve stem from the tube, giving you a flat. I recommend one of two ways, one of two positions to run your valve nut. You can either take it off completely and just use your valve stem cap. That way it moves more freely, the stem does. Or you can take the nut and run it all the way tight to the cap. This will still give it a little bit more room. I, myself, prefer not running one at all. You make sure your rim lock's tight and you should be good to go. When I'm running a tube, I will run anywhere from 10 to 12 pounds of air. I get a lot of those questions online and emails to my website. That concludes our tip for today. Hey, Rich Lafferty here. Here changing a tire. This particular wheel has a foam insert in it. I'm sure some of you have heard that. Heard about foam inserts. Some of you probably already run them. Some people may not. Good for defense against flat tires and stuff like that. When you get them brand new, they feel like maybe 12, 13 pound air pressure. They will shrink after some time. You do have to do a little bit of maintenance as far as just keeping them lubed up so there's no friction. But anyway, the wheel's already off the bike, obviously. We're loosen the rim lock. Most KTMs, European bikes, 13. Jap bikes like a 12. But anyway, it's all about having the proper tools as well. For a foam insert, you want a tire changing stand. This one, particular one is close to the ground, which I like. Long tire iron. These are supplied through Terry Zip Tie Racing. Zip Tie Racing. I don't like to take too big of bites, but I'm going to put all my tire irons in first. Not real far apart. Now I'm going to try and work another one in across from them. Alright, so you can see here how all my irons are placed. Rim lock's over here. I'm still going to start the tire from across the way. And I got one iron here to help kind of keep the bead down a little bit as I pull the irons up. Start with one. As I'm like halfway up, I'm going to start with the other one. Start following it. Just pulling it all the way up. And one slip out right here. I hate when that happens. Okay, and then I just start working back around to the rim lock. Take a little bite. When I'm going in, I'm pushing in towards the tire and going down. Now take your time and work at it. Up to the rim lock. Pull this out of the way. Work my way back around. I like to flip it over. Push it off the first bead. Now to go all the way off, I'm just going to take one iron. Pry it off like that. Hammer. Pretty much just come right out. Okay, so there's the first part. Alright, now we're ready to put the tire back on the rim, but we have to put the foam insert back in the wheel first. I just used the regular grease supplied at like a tire, a school bus tire, big truck tire business. Just a big tub of grease. I always like to put a little bit of grease on each inner sidewall so that when you go put the bib in, if you grease the bib and then go to put it in the tire, a lot of times you wipe off all the excess grease. So I always like to do the tire a little bit as well, so you're sure that there's plenty inside. This is important because without the grease, it builds up a lot of friction and the bib will come apart. So that's why you always got to make sure they're greased properly. A little messy. Obviously using rubber gloves just because it's messy. Okay, we're ready to put it back on. We got the foam insert installed. You're going to start with the rim lock. Rim lock's nice and loose. Make sure the bottom bead comes up in between the rim lock and the rim. Push on as far as you can. Make sure the bib is in the tire. This one's going to be a little easy, in my opinion. So I like to use these irons to put it back on. In my opinion, they're a little bit easier than the ones you use to take it off. And again, just making little bites all the way around. Obviously, when you're dealing with a foam insert, you don't have as much to worry about with getting pinched flat or pinching the tube, obviously. I always like to start next to the rim lock. You have to have some type of hold down device. The old school thing used to be vice grips. These are supplied by Motion Pro. They just hold the tire down. Once you get it started, keep working your way around. But make sure you always got to hold down this side. This side, especially if it's a newer bib, would always tend to pop up. Voice just cracked there. I'm going through puberty again, so just keep working your way around. When I'm putting it back on, I always like to go with 3 at least, a couple inches apart. Help hold it down. What you're doing is you're holding it down past the bead as well, so it makes it easier to mount the rest of the tire. If it's not down past the bead, it will be really hard to put on, and you can break the bead. And therefore, if you break the bead, the tire is going to be coming off. Keep little butts. These little red irons are supplied by Zip Tie as well. I always want to say Terry cable. Alright, last little bit we're trying to deal with here is the rim lock. Okay? I have the rim lock bolt loose. And on this particular tire changer, there's a little slot for me to kind of put the tire iron in to hold the rim lock back, because you don't want to have it too far in and then the rim lock not be positioned where it should be. Just get on the rest of the way, and then release the rim lock. Now I can just kind of take these off easily. Alright, I'm just going to tighten my rim lock now and make sure that it's seated all the way around. Potentially, as long as your rim lock's tight, sometimes if it's not quite up on the bead, you're not going to have much of an issue. But just make sure you try and get it up on the bead as much as possible. Sometimes just shooting air into the actual valve stem hole will help pop it up on the bead. There you go, and that's how you change a foam insert.